Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Peter Agoston. You're tuned into another episode of my weekly podcast, The House List. I appreciate you coming back. I'm having a lot of fun doing these. Working with my good friend, longtime friend, CJ Stewart, editing and engineering, putting these together. And this week's episode is no exception by any means. I traveled way up to Woodlawn in the Bronx from Brooklyn, an hour and a half on the subway. So if you live in New York City, you know that that is from one end to the other, more or less, to chat with Just Dice at his place. We talked about the Bronx. We talked about growing up in New York. We talked about the music industry. It was a fun, incredible conversation. If you're a fan of his music, I know that you will definitely get a lot out of this. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, so I felt particularly privileged to be able to do this, and we did it at his crib, standing up, playing music, exchanging stories. It was cool. It was very cool. So sit tight, check out my conversation with the one and only Just Dice, only on the House List with Peter Agoston. Check it out.
It was me, him, Mick Jagger, and Ron Resnick all up in Wembley's in one of those big windows. We was all just smoking weed together. It was just all of us just sitting there, and I was like, I said, damn, Mick, you got some big fucking lips. He started cracking the fuck up.
Right.
I was like, yo, man, you make black people listen little. He said, I hear that shit a lot.
So it was the same promoter that brought you...
Brought us over there in 86,
yeah.
Morgan Kahn. He's a cool dude, you know. It was a hell of a show, man. I mean, the show was, to me... I liked the show in Germany, in Amsterdam. It was cool. It was nice, you know, because it was more party.
Right.
It was more party. But the one in London, it was like very professional like type shit. Very professional type shit. And people was coming out with my albums that I forgot I even fucking made.
Really?
And they come with vinyl, not even CDs. Like the one I made with Grandmaster Flash, I got it on CD.
Oh, Masterpiece.
I got it on CD.
Right.
These motherfuckers was walking up with it on vinyl.
Right.
This shit right here, I've never seen this before.
I've never seen this.
They walked up to me with this shit on vinyl.
Wow. Amazing. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. The reissue. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, just as I was getting ready for the interview too, like going over. I mean, there's it was at least in the 80s and 90s there was 7 or 8 full-length albums. So.
You mean of mine?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got shit, man. Now that I've been overseas, I have more albums than I fucking realized.
Right.
I mean, there's albums over there that I didn't even realize was put out, but I always knew I was getting money for it, and I saw it like through ASCAP.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? Who cares? I'm getting paid for it.
Right.
Now I see. I mean, I'm even on an album with the Cold Crush Brothers.
What is that?
It's some kind of hip hop album.
Really?
The Cold Crush Brothers is on there. I'm on there. I was like, I've never seen this shit before. The weed smoke ain't gonna bother you, will it?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I actually went through some health stuff the last couple of years. I had a kidney transplant.
Whoa.
A year ago, exactly. In July last year. And
last time I seen you was a little heavier.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably drinking a lot.
You was never no real big dude anyway.
No, never. No, I've always been pretty slim.
Yeah.
But at the club, I mean, I was also drinking a lot at the club too.
Like now you look a little younger.
Right.
You don't look as worn as you did before.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I was like, smoking cigarettes too and stuff back then. So
at the Knitting Factory, you were smoking?
Yeah. I never
seen you smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, not in the club. I was always like, I kind of tried to
keep it away from people.
Yeah. But I mean, so unfortunately, the thing is, because I'm on this immune suppressant meds, like amazingly, and I didn't learn this until afterwards, that that they're like, yeah, don't smoke weed because it conflicts with the Prograf, which is like the main like suppressant med I'm on.
Or it clashes.
Yeah.
So you can't smoke no weed.
Yeah, I can be around it though. It's really not a problem at all. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's a small compromise.
Don't worry about it, man. Just get your health back, man.
Yeah.
It should always be here.
I know, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's been a year, so I'm actually like doing like.
You still in contact with promoters, right? I mean, what promoters and booking agencies?
Yeah. So I started my own agency. So I basically was, after the Knitting Factory, I went straight into, I tour managed a tour, then I started working at one agency. I was there for about 3 years. I moved to another one for about 3 years. And then when I got sick, because I was on dialysis for a year as well. Wow. So like, it just kind of forced me to have to start, doing things. I basically started working from home.
Your shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reevaluating your shit.
Yeah.
That kind of shit makes you reevaluate shit.
Yeah, you don't have many options too. Like you have to start thinking in a completely different way, So I started my own booking agency.
That's good.
And but I'm still in touch with, so I'm always in touch with promoters.
Are you booking though?
Yeah, I'm booking tours and shows.
Hip hop.
So it's a mix
DJs?
of genres. Yeah, it's DJs and hip hop, but some bands too, and just like kind of enough to keep me, active in a lot of different circles, so I can, because I'm working for a commission basically.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm working for myself.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, there's no salary or benefits or anything like that.
So
I have to grind.
The more shows, the more money's in your pocket.
Yeah. And this podcast too is something now as a side thing where I want to kind of, develop that side of my career, because I know a lot of people beyond promoters, but artists and journalists and all these people too, where. And I love stories, and I started in radio too, so in the early '90s. So this is like a side thing that I'm hoping can, turn into another revenue stream.
Hip hop, man, it's gonna be strong. It's
right.
Like, you just have to do it in a way that everybody else is not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do it in the same formula that everybody else is doing it, it's like crazy people.
There's a lot of them now too.
You do the same thing over and over, but you're expecting different results. That's a crazy person.
Right.
You take the formula, but you more or less formulate it to you, not the standard formula.
Right.
You take the standard formula, but then you make it work for you.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's why I'm hoping to not just talk to artists too, but people that are behind the scenes or really that rarely do interviews too. They have the greatest stories too.
I really do interviews.
Yeah, and now which is why I appreciate it. I mean, since I'm starting recording right now, so. And I might have to get a little kind of close with the mic just as it isn't.
I'll hold it.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Yeah, cool. So
I can amplify this shit through my system.
Well but you can even see the level here too. Like this is it. So I mean, as long as it's kind of like this.
This right here.
Yeah, but I can hold it too.
Oh, it's two mics.
Yeah, it's sort of a stereo mic. So I'll kind of keep it like in this row. I won't throw it in your grill.
We're good. Just ask way.
Yeah. So even where are we right now as far as in the Bronx? Is I took a train from 7th Ave in Brooklyn, so the F train to the 4 train.
We in Woodlawn.
Right.
You in the Boogie Down Bronx. You uptown.
So this is like the northwest Bronx, right? Or is this
This is more like the northwest, right? The northeast would be like Mount Vernon.
Right.
On that side,
north of us right here,
on the other side, the number 2 and 5 train.
Right.
That would be going to Mount Vernon. Over here, you're going up into what's this shit over here? Oh gosh. When you leave the Bronx from here,
it's not like Riverdale or anything like that.
You pass Riverdale is going in a different direction. But if say like Jerome Avenue,
right?
You keep going up Jerome Avenue, you hit 233rd Street. After that, you in Westchester.
All right, yeah, Westchester County probably, right?
You're in Westchester County, yeah.
Right.
We up here. You up here in the BX.
Yeah, which is great.
And my man Graham was the Theodore. Can you see his building for me? No, it's too cloudy. The Theodore's building is right over there, past them trees.
Wow.
It's a building over there. Graham was the Theodore. The beatbox Rozelle lives right down the block.
Oh, okay. He's in the neighborhood. That's cool.
All of it's a lot of us. Sometimes you might see Kurtis Blow down there.
Really?
He used to have an apartment over there.
Right.
Kev, the Fantastic Vibe MCs.
Yeah.
They used to live right down the street. They just moved to Parkchester.
Amazing.
On the other side of the Bronx.
Right. What's up with Fred? You still DJ?
Yeah,
Fred One is still your DJ, right?
I've been talking to that motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah. He with his kids right now. On the weekend, he spend with his children. So I tried to bother him on the weekend.
Of course.
Because he's with his children. But
he's from the Bronx as well.
Hell yeah. Fred is from over there by Bedford.
Right.
He started over there by Bedford Avenue. That's like about maybe 10 minutes here from here.
Right.
So it's like all of us are like, I'm not Bronx born. I'm Brooklyn born.
Right.
But I was Bronx raised.
When did you move to the Bronx? Like at what point in time did you come up as an adult when you were making records as a kid?
No, man.
You moved here here with your parents.
My grandmother, she moved to the Bronx when Castle Hill was still being built.
Wow.
Because we lived down there. Because even though I was Brooklyn born, I was always either in Harlem or Brooklyn. It was going back and forth. But then when my grandmother moved to Castle Hill, I was going from Fort Greene, Brooklyn to Castle Hill. And I mean, it's at a young age. I mean, like about maybe from seven on up.
Wow.
You know, from 7 on up. And at a certain point, I was living in Fort Greene in Brooklyn. We're going, no, I said it backwards. When I was younger, I was living in Castle Hill in the Bronx, but going to school in Brooklyn. So I would have to get up every morning about 4:30 in the morning to get ready to get on a train to be to school at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
But then as I got older, as I was living in Brooklyn, I started going to Stevenson in the Bronx.
Wow.
So I had to leave Brooklyn every morning to get to Stevenson in the Bronx. So I just said, the hell with it, I'm moving to the Bronx.
So that's high school then, right?
Yeah, that's high school. Yeah, Stevenson is high school. I completed high school and I went to college. Yes, I'm not an idiot.
And you were born in Brooklyn as well, right? In Fort Greene or where?
Fort Greene.
Yeah.
I was born in Fort Greene, Brooklyn Hospital, on the corner of Ashland and Navy.
Were your folks New Yorkers or?
Well, my mom's she's from Jamaica, but you know she was born born there, but she was raised here.
Right.
My father's from down south. I don't know how them motherfuckers met. I wasn't born.
Right. Do you have brothers and sisters too? Or?
Yeah, I got one sister. Yeah, that's it, man.
Right.
That's it. One sister, man.
So you're
I'm the youngest.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the black sheep of the family, the whole family.
How did they take to when you started making music? I mean, was it?
I mean, of course, it's gonna seem like it's happy on the outside. Motherfuckers jealous as a motherfucker.
Right.
All the motherfuckers is jealous on the inside, man. For real. I don't fuck with none of them people.
Right. Gotcha. Your story as an artist, which I know pretty well, like you were kind of like independent on your own, like as far as, you know, you worked in clubs for many years before, or was that before?
I was a bouncer.
Yeah, so I'd love to talk about that part of it too, because it is a big part of New York history in general.
Yeah.
And was that even before any records came out?
Yeah,
So it was
a club. It was a club on Canal Street called the Reggae Lounge.
Cool. Okay. So what was that like?
Shit, them Jamaicans was crazy. Yo, from I think maybe 8 or 9 to 1:32 in the morning, it was playing like mosh pit music, banging, all that crazy shit. That was the easy part.
Okay.
That
the
was
clientele or what?
Yeah, I mean, them guys come in crazy, the little mosh pits and all that banging music. The Reggae Lounge was dope. They had the speakers coming out the floor.
Wow.
You could walk on top of the speakers and you could see the speakers move. And
amazing.
You feel, that lounge was dope. But then at 2 o'clock, man, when the Jamaican music came on, them fucking Jamaicans was nuts.
Right. And this was if it was Canal Street, they're mostly coming from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn, yep. They all come from Brooklyn. And you know how you have to go get searched and everything? I would be at the side door. They'd be like, yo, Bradley, here, oh, there's $50 here. I'm coming out. Go ahead, nigga, you ain't shooting me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you shoot, just don't shoot me. If we're real. You know what I mean? Yo, I got caught doing that. I got fired. I got fired. And then after that, I just started. I did a club on Snyder Avenue. I didn't like it because it was a Caribbean club, but it wasn't Jamaican.
Right.
And I got tired of that fucking music. And then they started getting deep with that shit, but shit I couldn't even understand. It wasn't even patois. It was some other shit.
Wow. So
I was like, yo, okay, that's it. Now I'm not coming anymore. Pay me, I'm gone.
Right.
And then just started going from club to club to club to club to club, and then.
Like you were doing punk clubs too, because that's like kind of how the history reads, at least on the internet. Looking back,
the only punk club was the Reggae Lounge.
The Reggae Lounge, right?
But the Reggae Lounge was a big punk club at that time.
Right. So what year is this? Probably estimate.
Oh God, this is like 84, 83, 84.
Okay, so really like just a couple years before you started putting records.
I started putting records out in 86.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it was about 3-4 years.
So you were kind of seasoned. I mean, obviously you probably were going to parties and going to clubs and stuff before you were working the door too.
Oh yeah, I grew up going to parties. I mean, I used to sneak into parties.
Right.
I got my ass beat for going to parties from my grandmother.
Right.
And because I was young, but I was always a little bigger than the other people.
Right.
So, but the people that I hung out with were older than me, and my grandmother knew their parents. See, my grandmother worked in the local school up there,
right.
Public school up there. So all the kids knew my grandmother, and all their parents knew my grandmother, and goddamn it, she made a point to know them.
This is in the Bronx.
This is in Castle Hill,
right.
Yeah, when I was younger. So it was like when Castle Hill was first being built, and the first families or second families was in there. It was more community. It was no gangs. It was always drugs, but it wasn't like drugs like heroin. You know, saturated the needle saturated the lobby floor. None of that kind of nonsense. It was more or less like, I know your parent, if I see you doing wrong, I'm gonna tell your parent, oh, you ain't gotta call me. You see my son doing wrong, just whoop his ass and then tell me and I'll understand why. That kind of shit.
Right.
You know?
So it's obviously a pretty tight
it was
community.
And it was, you'd be surprised, man. I remember one day, man, we played hooky. It was all the sound masters. I ain't gonna name the name, but it was all sound masters. And it was like about 11, 12 of us. And it was the community center that we always go to.
Right, which you even mentioned in going way back.
You know, the community center. So one day we were bored and we were hungry. We didn't have no money. We was playing hooky. We was like, yo, let's go rob the community center for their food.
Right. Okay.
Everybody was like, okay, everybody. And this is when we had the light bulb that you could twist in and out. Everybody grabbed, we went around to all the floors in the building, took out, so let's go to the light bulb. We ran up the back stairs and this is how stupid we were. These were all senior citizens in there.
Oh my God.
About 11 of us just ran through the back door. Yo, what's the stick on?
Right.
They all damn near had heart attacks.
Oh my God.
We ran to the kitchen and stole 3 boxes of veal and ran out the fucking center.
The big heist. Right.
Yo, why did we do that? Neil knew each and every one of us and our parents. We all got our ass whooped that night.
I bet, yeah.
All of us, and they was all on the phone talking about it.
Right.
Neil was like, Miss Poe, you won't believe what your son did today. Him and his friends, who? Junior Murphy, Denard, Ken. I was like, oh, he named every fucking body.
Right.
And he had a phone number because we all went to the center.
Right.
And not only that, some of our fucking older brothers and sisters and cousins worked there.
Oh my God.
Yo, they was coming home. Yo, you know what they did today? Yo. We was bad. When we were sound masters. Yo, we had fun. I mean, we had fun, but it wasn't the kind of fun where you go around just hurting people. We it was a party. Oh, yeah, like Steve. Okay, breakout and came to Stevenson one weekend.
Okay,
I was on punishment. Everybody else was. I'm like, you know, I'm going to the fucking party.
Right.
About 11 o'clock at night, I said, time to empty the garbage.
Okay.
Go around the house, collect all the garbage, grandmother half sleep. Boy, where you going? I'm just going to empty the garbage. I'll be right back. Man, I go to that fucking celebrated garbage can. I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. Neighbors come out. I did that shit so many times. Neighbors come out. They be like, he snuck off again. Knock on the door. Bam, bam, bam. Miss Poe. He's supposed to be emptying the garbage. He left it. She'd be like, that goddamn boy.
Oh, my God.
Now, okay. I go to the party. I'm having a good time. I already know I'm coming home to an ass whooping.
Right. So you might as well stay out anyway,
I'm
right?
the fuck out. But staying out late over there at that time was like, 2 in the morning?
Right.
And I'm with my friends.
It's a community center anyway, right?
Yeah. Well, no, Stevenson was right behind Castle Hill.
Right, okay.
Stevenson High School was right behind Castle Hill, right?
Oh, so it's a jam in the high school then,
yeah,
right?
so you walk through the back of Castle Hill, you walk through Jamie Towers, and you come right there at Stevenson.
Right.
Stevenson was actually like about 7 minutes away from Castle Hill, walking.
Wow.
Walking.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't have no money, so snuck in the window. Went in there, had a party, I get home, get my ass whooped. I knew that was coming.
Right.
Next day, everybody talking about, yo, I'm like, yeah, I was there. It was like, yo, you was there, wasn't you? How'd you get? You got your ass whooped. That's what my friend was. Hey, yo, you got your ass whooped. Why you outside? I'm not on punishment. You get your ass whooped, you're not on punishment.
Right.
Yo,
So you're free to go.
I got a minute. I'm story. I remember one time Bam was in the park right across the street in Castle Hill. And my aunt lived in a building looking right above the park. She could look out her window and see the whole park and everybody in it. Time to empty the garbage.
Okay.
She was up that time. She got on the phone. She was like, Mary, look out the window, see if you see that boy down there. Yeah, Lila May, I see him. Hold on, I'm going to send Kenny downstairs and get him. My cousin Kenny, at that time, that was like, don't even try to fight him.
Really? Okay.
Don't even try to fight him.
So he was like the enforcer.
He was for me, yeah. They would go get Kenny. So Kenny come downstairs. I feel somebody. You ain't supposed to be here, right? Come on.
Right.
All my friends,
Right.
And here come my cousin B, the girl. You got him? Yeah, okay. To take his ass upstairs. That was in the party for me.
Wow. So this is where the Justice name was born.
Nah.
There, right?
Justice was born upstate when I was locked up.
So this is obviously
this
later
before,
on.
This is before. Justice was born when I was like 12 years old. This is before. This is way before.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is way before, man.
Right.
I tell motherfuckers, man, I was doing this hip hop shit since I was a kid. And when I mean a kid, I mean a fucking kid.
Well, man, you were there right when, at the parties right when
I was right
starting.
there when it was starting. You know, I remember the first time I even heard Baby Huey.
Wow.
I had to be like about 6 or 7 years old. We was in 735 Bryan Avenue in Hunts Point. My man Pee Wee, my aunt's friend. Well, my aunt, she had a girlfriend named Eleanor, and she had a son, you know, run errands and shit. And Pee Wee was like, "Yo, come here," because I was always getting in trouble. He's like, "Come with me, just come with me downstairs." He's like, "Don't worry about him. I got him." So we go downstairs. He's like, "Yo, sit down and just relax, man." He started putting on some music. I'm like, "What the hell?" He was like, "This is hip hop." I'm like, "What?" This is before I even knew what the fuck. I never heard of it. Yeah. He was rocking Baby Huey. He took off Baby Huey and put on Watt Stacks. What's his name? The nigga who do the break, Rufus Thomas.
Wow.
I was like, whoa. Then he threw on Bra, Samanda. He had the covers.
Oh,
he had the covers and everything.
Yeah. Just like epic, timeless records now.
And he was just playing it like, yo, just sit down while I clean up my room.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to fuck you. Beat me up. Man, you about 20 times my size. Right. All right, so, and that's how I got introduced to it. And I still know a record he played that day I had never heard except him play it. It was called Tom Scott in L.A.
Okay, all right.
It was that album. I don't know what record he played on there, but if I ever got a hold of that album,
right.
Tom Scott in L.A., it was made in he was playing it then, so it had to be like 1970 something.
Yeah, I gotta find that.
This is before the Commodore's Brick House. This is before that.
Right.
This is before that. This is before Commodore's Fancy Dancer.
Right. So when did you end up buying records? How did you start actually buying records?
I started buying records when I was a kid, man. I started collecting records when I was a kid.
Because I see obviously, you know, you got a giant room full of records.
That's all y'all tunes too. That's all y'all.
Yeah, I want to get that.
The American records is in the closet.
Gotcha.
I got a bunch of them shits in there. I got crates and stacks of them. But I've been buying tunes since, oh boy. I think the first tune I ever bought was a 45 called Aki Monkey by Pupatoni. It was an old tune. But as soon as I heard the bass line, just caught my ass.
Wow.
It just caught me. I have the tune too. That little box right there. See that little box at the bottom? That box at the bottom? Yeah. That's a dangerous fucking box. That shit is filled up.
It's 45?
Let me show you. See, I wish you had a video. See? That little box is dangerous.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people really know that side of your career too.
They don't understand what y'all do that stuff. They don't understand. This is where it starts. See, these kind of tunes.
So we're opening like a flight case.
We're opening up my danger. This is what I call my little kitty box. It's very dangerous for everybody else who I play with because they don't want to play with me after I play these. But to me, this is just my warm-up box, my danger box.
Wow.
It's my danger box.
So 3 tight rows, 45s.
I can show you a record by Sam Cooke that was made in Jamaica.
Amazing.
Where is it?
And this is all yard music, right?
All Jamaican music.
So were you playing this out too?
Yeah, I got to play on my birthday, November 15th. I play with Deadly Dragon.
Oh, very cool. All right, cool.
Where the fuck is that tune at? See, a lot of people don't understand that hip hop actually comes from this music. See, check this out. This is David Ruffin. Right. I Wish It Would Rain on a Studio One.
Amazing, yeah.
On a Studio One.
Right. So
and this is not the same Temptation shit. This is a Studio One. Meaning probably the sound dimensions backed them up with the music. Sam Cooke, here it is. This is Sam Cooke singing My Teenage Sonata. I'll play Teenage Sonata for you too. So you can hear
clean.
What it sounds like.
Very clean too.
Oh hell yeah, I take care of my records, man. Nobody touches my records but me.
Right.
Nobody. And I wash my records like I wash my dishes.
Really?
Yes, I do. I get soap and a rag and a cold water and I wash them. I put them on a plate. My girlfriend being here, she was thinking I'm crazy. She's like, yo, you treat your records like you eating dinner. I'm like, yeah.
I've always wondered about that. I have a lot of records too. I've never washed them like the soap and water style.
That's it. Soap, mild soap, cold water because the hot water will bend the vinyl.
Right.
You know?
Incredible. So this was really first. I mean, like for you, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I started rhyming first. No, I started listening. Well, I always listen to y'all music.
Right,
you know?
right.
But I always started. And my man Glenn, man, that's my man. He wrote my first rhyme for me. Son of a bitch, took my fucking $3 allowance for it.
Yeah. What's the story with that? Because that is definitely something I discovered just recently too. So you bought your first rhyme for $3?
I bought my first rhyme for Glenn for $3. And he first of all, motherfucker, gonna ask me. And Glenn, at that time, Glenn had to be 13 or 12. I had to be like about maybe 9 or 10.
Okay.
Glenn was like, I'll write you a rhyme. Because I'm hearing everybody rhyming and shit.
Right.
I didn't want no shit like dip, dip, dive and so socialized, clean out your ears and open your eyes. I didn't want that shit. Glenn was like, yo, I'll write you a rhyme. Because at that time, my name wasn't Just Ice. It was Kid T.O.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It was Kid T.O. like Kid Creole.
Right.
But my name was Kid T.O. because back then my nickname was T.O. T-E-O.
Gotcha.
And he was like, I'll write a rhyme for you. I was like, fine. He was like, how much money you got? I said, Glenn, I got $3. I just got my allowance, man. And at that time, $3 was a lot. Pizza was like 50, 75. A slice of pizza was 50 cents and a Sicilian was 75 cents. So
Yeah,
$3
you can
was a
stretch
fucking
that.
lot. You go to Nathan's with $3 back in them days, you get a burger, fries, and fucking drink and change.
Wow.
I've done it.
Wow.
And Jack in the Box was right there on White Plains Road. He robbed me, yo. He said, how much you got? I said, $3. And I just got my allowance. He said, the rhyme will cost you $3.
Wow. Everything.
I was like, Glenn, seriously? He said, you want the rhyme? He's like, yeah, give me $3. I gave him the fucking $3. Hey, yo, Peter, no bullshit. I called Glenn. And this was years ago. This is more than 30 years ago.
Wow.
I called Glenn like about last year. Do you know that nigga spit that rhyme to me? I don't even remember that shit. He's like, I bet you remember the first rhyme I wrote you. I was like, no. He was like, and I was like, holy shit, you remember that shit?
Yeah, well, probably through your career.
Here's the funny thing. I said, can you write it and text it to me? He said, you got $3?
Oh, shit.
I was like, Glenn, are you fucking serious?
Wow.
He was like, you give me $3, I will give you back this rhyme.
Right.
I was like, fuck you and the $3, Glenn. For real.
That's hilarious, man.
Oh, man.
So that would just be a rhyme that you would recite, like, wherever, at any
that
party.
Was a battle rhyme. He wrote He wrote
Wow.
me a battle rhyme.
Right.
That's why my first rhyme was a battle rhyme.
Wow.
So when I had to write rhymes, my shit was always ready to attack the next person.
Right.
And that's how all my rhymes. That's why a lot of my rhymes come out the way they do. I mean, now I just don't go after somebody. I can talk about any and other thing, but it's the aggressiveness that I keep with it.
Yeah, but those are early records too. I mean, it is very aggressive. It's in your face too, which is what made it so unique too, because that wasn't really the stance that a lot of MCs of that time.
Yeah, they
would
were
take.
scared.
Yeah, it was more about toasting the parties.
See, I started that gangster shit for real when Dr. Dre and niggas over in the East Coast with Atlantic Star. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Right.
When I was doing hard hip hop, hard MCing, was I don't rap. I MC. I'm not a fucking rapper.
Right.
When I was MCing, my hard shit out here, them niggas was over there wondering what the fuck was next and what's going on with Atlantic Star. And little sequin suits and Jerry curl juice dripping down their back and shit. I mean, enough respect to them now, but they success and everything. But yo, don't claim what the fuck really ain't yours, man.
Right. And you had done, did World Class Wrecking Crew come to New York? Because I read somewhere too that did you ever share the stage with them?
I think I've done a few shows with the World Class Wrecking Crew.
Right.
I've done a few shows with Luke and all of them motherfuckers.
Right.
I mean, when we was younger, we did a lot of shows together with these down south people.
They were coming to New
No,
York.
we was going down there.
Right.
We was going to Florida.
Right.
I remember a few shows in Florida we did, but then I remember a few shows we met up in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a few of them.
Right.
I remember doing shows with Shanice.
Amazing, right?
I remember doing
what a
shows
bill
with her.
that would be, right? Yeah,
I remember
just
doing
like
shows with her,
Shanice.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean that's incredible too. I mean, just going back just a little bit too, thinking about the year of that first record, and really like '86 and '87 for you, and just for music in general, and New York as a whole is just such an electrifying period of time too. You know, I think now this generation sort of sleeps on that part of the 80s where the golden era is like the mid 90s.
I don't mean to cut you off,
no problem.
Listen, it might have been electrifying for the people who were hearing it back in '86 and '87
Right.
when we were doing it, but to me that was the weak part. To me,
Really?
Hell yeah, I hated when hip hop records came out.
Right.
I hated that shit. I said,
Why?
That was it in the parties.
Right, got you, yeah.
As soon as that fucking, everybody keeps thinking that Rapper's Delight is the first record on Enjoy, and it's not. Right. It is not. The first rapping record on Enjoy record is Super Rapping.
Right.
Then Super Rapping 2.
Right.
Then Rapper's Delight.
True, and we all know too that Super Rap wasn't Furious Grandmaster Flash.
No,
that was
no.
They had records before that.
Super Rapping. No. They had records before that on what record they had out? We Rap More Mellow.
Right, which is different name. Of the group was a different.
The Next Generation. They wanted the Next Generation.
Right.
But before all of that even came out, dogs, only Bambaataa and Flash had Flash It to the Beat. At one time, only Flash had it. Then he gave it to Bambaataa. Then it was another one only Flash had. It's like it was a routine, and they made a plate out of it to the Cheryl Lynn Got to Be Real. Mm-hmm. It's like, we're going to a party. That's right. That's right. That's right. We're going to rock with everybody. Only the Bronx had that shit.
Wow.
Only the Bronx had that shit. It didn't reach Manhattan. It definitely didn't reach Brooklyn's ass. Oh, Queens. Fuck them.
Right, so it was all happening right here anyway.
It was the Bronx, man. Right. It was the Bronx. And you ask motherfuckers in Brooklyn back in the 70s about that, they'd be like, yo, how can the Bronx say they started hip-hop? We was doing this at the same time. I'm like, granted. And I can attest to it because I lived in Brooklyn. Right. In Brooklyn in the late 70s, early 80s, niggas was coming out there with big systems in Brooklyn.
But it wasn't, they
weren't playing the same music.
Right.
Their biggest record in Brooklyn and Queens was Love Is the Fucking Message.
Wow, right. Totally different vibe, right.
They was out there playing shit like Parliament Funkadelic as their main shit. We played Parliament Funkadelic, Freak of the Week, and all that shit in the beginning.
Right, that's where you open the party.
We begin with that kind of shit. Right. Them niggas use that shit for closers. I can say, y'all was playing music out there in the 70s, late 70s. Big shit, Fantasia, DJ Flowers, Grandmaster Flowers, Infinity Machine. Oh, Infinity Machine. That was a fucking system. Right. But the music was whack.
Did they ever come up here?
Hell no.
It wasn't really like you
Infinity Machine would stay their ass in Queens and Brooklyn. Right. Then they come to the BX. Right. But their system was all that.
Did you go there?
Hell yeah. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Far Rockaway. I lived all over New York. I go anywhere in New York. I got family there because I know I lived there before. Right. Going to Queens for me ain't no problem. To this day, they ain't no fucking problem for me to go to Queens.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can just walk around.
Right.
Motherfuckers be like, yo, they go Just what's good? What's good? All up on Fox Boulevard, all that shit. I got people every fucking where. Right. But it's like the music starts here. Home of hip hop is the Bronx. Simple as that.
So it wasn't just in the parks either too. I mean, it's like there were it was
the clubs came after, man. The parks was the shit.
Right.
It wasn't even the clubs, man. Fuck the clubs. The high schools.
Really? Yeah. Did that even start before the parks?
No, it was the parks and the high schools together.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
The parks and the high schools together. The clubs. It was different. Okay, when you go to the high school, you pay $3 with the flyer. Right. $4 without. Right. That ain't no problem. The club, you got to pay $6
right.
and $8. You got to put on shoes. That's why nobody like going to Herc's parties.
They were always that was at the Fever, right?
No. Anywhere Herc played, you had to put on shoes.
Right.
Then Flash started that bullshit. Flash Steve, he started losing money in the street with that shit, so he changed it.
Right. How would you like with these with the park jam? If you're not really paying a cover, how are people making money? Would they make money? Like the actual DJs?
See, when Bam would come out to the park, or Mario would come out to the park, it was just to entertain the people. It wasn't no fucking money involved.
Yeah, they were all just coming out of pocket.
Basically. It was like, you wire up from the first floor, somebody you know on the first floor, you run your wires from their apartment with electricity, you set up and everything, you play, you have your own liquor or whatever. It's a party thing. It's a community thing. Right. It's a community thing. It's just fucked up. Say like you play in Bronxdale, and when Mario played in Bronxdale, that side of the whole Bronx knew about it. All the projects is coming. That's when the trouble starts.
Right, when people start migrating.
When the other projects coming. Right. Just because Bronxdale is here and here go to Brooklyn Expressway and you got Monroe here, that don't make them friends. That make them niggas enemies.
Right. Yeah. Was there separation between the different?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So where
man.
we're standing right now, what would this be like back then? What
Well,
would you?
back then, this would be more like Breakout's area, because Breakout lives up Gun Hill Road.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Breakout and Brown live
Gun
up
Hill
Hill
Road
Road.
is like 2 blocks away from here, right? Two
Gun
or
Hill
three.
Road is right there.
Okay,
You see
got
the hospital my wife works in. See that tall building?
Right.
That's
yeah,
where my wife works.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, and Gun Hill Road is before that.
Okay. Yep.
Matter of fact, if you go to this block right here, you cross this street right here, you walk up to the corner, that's Gun Hill Road.
Right. Okay.
Then you go up this way, that's toward the 2 and 5 train.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And that's Breakout and Barron.
Right.
Every year they
right.
have a festival here, and Barron always comes out and plays over here.
Right.
A few weeks ago, it was what do you call it? It was Bronx Day. It was Bronx Day.
Right.
Everybody went out to Cortona Park.
Right. Yeah. That's a Lord Finesse thing, right? Or
No, Bronx Day.
Right.
Well, he's from the Bronx, but it was a Bronx Day. And who played? My man Tony Tone. Tony Tone from the Cold Crest called me. He was like, "Yo, I'm playing, so I want you to come out there like about 11 or 12. We could talk, because I would go buy some shit from him. Because Tone actually just moved from right around the corner, down this block and around the corner.
Oh, right now, currently.
Yeah, he just moved. He
Right.
moved upstate.
Amazing. Oh, okay, gotcha.
He moved upstate. And Theodore was like, "Yo, Just, if you want to go, I'll come scoop you up, because I just come right, That day was like 98 fucking degrees.
Right.
I was not leaving from under my air conditioner.
right.
I told them niggas, I was like, "Yo, man, it's hot as a bitch, and Katona ain't got no shade. It's all open area."
Right.
I'm like, even if you build a little canopy, it's only a matter of time before that shit gets through. I'm like, I'm not going.
Right.
I don't go to. I very rarely show my shit. I'm still recording shit. Don't want to record this. Stop recording. I don't know why I'm recording the box anyway. Delete that shit. I don't go out too often, man. That's why I don't even like doing shows in New York unless I'm
Right.
DJing.
Right.
If I do a show in New York when it comes to MCing, it got to be a real fucking show.
Right.
It got to be a real show, because I'm gonna come out and say it straight up and down. New York motherfuckers and bitches, they ain't appreciative of real hip hop because they grew up here with it. It's a total different effect overseas. You go overseas, they appreciate it.
Right.
They appreciate it. You know what I mean? You don't. It's like, it's just different. The atmosphere is different. They don't come to the show with the intent to start trouble.
So what was the first? We were just talking about at the beginning, like the first time you went overseas. So what year was that?
86. That's the first time when I was with Sleeping Bag. We did a 1986 Fresh Fest.
Right.
At Wimbledon Stadium.
So that's like really one of the first hip hop tours in Europe or overseas.
And it's on vinyl.
Is it? Oh, I didn't
It's
realize
on. You
that.
go to
Okay.
YouTube and you look at it. You see the name. I signed a few of those.
When you were just
When I was
you were
over
just
there,
out there.
I was
right.
I just came back last week.
Right.
I signed a few. It's amazing the records that's over there. The vinyl.
Right.
The vinyl. I mean, CDs are good, downloads are good, MP3s, but they still cherish vinyl over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that because I got a shitload of vinyl. And I bought some vinyl from over there.
Nice.
For real.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, it's tough to kind of take the magic of those parties because they're so spontaneous. The things that happen there, you can't really predict what's going to happen at a party. But
What do you mean, the ones in the
as
back in the days?
Yeah, as far as translating into like your recording career.
Yes, you can. I can. I take all those parties with me everywhere I fucking go. You know why? Because I was there. Nobody had to tell me about them.
Right.
I was there. I have one saying, as Just Ice draws from his weed. I got one saying to all these motherfuckers who think they know hip hop. If your ass wasn't there, you just missed it. For real.
Right.
Your ass wasn't there, you just fucking missed it. Nobody can tell you about the parties from back in the days. You had to be there. You heard the original music of everything that's being played now with the samples and the sound lights. We played the originals.
Who would you say would be like your contemporaries back then? Because did you eventually start performing at those parties too before the records came out and stuff?
No, my first performance was at the Danceteria.
Really? Okay, so that's not until like 86,
Yeah,
right?
it's like 86 or something. To me, that's old. I mean, it's new for everybody else, and it was new for me in one perspective because I was starting to make records. But that hip hop shit in me was already, it's there already.
Yeah, you have like, your relationship with it is so much more personal than the people that just know your recorded material.
That shit goes deep, man.
Right.
I used to go to Africa Islam house, son of a bitch used to starve me for fucking Kansas fried chicken. Word. Nah, man, nah. This shit goes way deeper than a bass bottom boom or a hi-hat tweeter. Just like I said in my record. Way deeper than that.
So how did it feel to start going into making records? Was it something you were excited about, or was it more like...
it was excitement, but it was something I knew I was supposed to do it anyway.
Right.
I always said I would make records when I was younger. Always. I never liked school. I had to complete the shit, though, because my mother was a school teacher, so I had to complete the shit. But I was like, I ain't gonna be no fucking plumber or no dentist and no shit like that. I'm making music. Right. My mother collected records.
Were you holding down? Were you still working the clubs and holding down a job when you first did when the first fresh records were coming?
When I was, I used to always have a job when I was younger. Always. That's why.
What are some of the jobs?
Messengers. I worked in offices and stocks. I did files. I did accountant apprentice because I love math, so I'm good with math. And but the day that I took my demo to Sleeping Bag Fresh. That was a Monday, and it was a snowstorm, right? And I was a messenger, and the shoes I had, the fucking front of it was open, so that means I walked. But I'm doing it. I'm like, fuck, I need the money. Right. I'm doing it. So I called up Sleeping Bag from a dime payphone, and it was a dime back then. It wasn't a quarter. It was a dime or 15 cents. It wasn't a quarter. And I was like, yo, do you like my and Will Sokolov got on the phone. Mantronik answered the phone. Really? Yeah, okay. He was like, I was like, yo, this is Justice. I brought you on my demo with Latoya. And he was like, yeah, hold on a minute. Will Sokolov got on the phone. He was like, yo, we like it. We want to do something with you. He was like, can you come to the office now? We can talk about a contract in advance.
Right then and there.
Peter, I had about 7 packages in my hand. It was snowing. I said to the nearest garbage, I'll be right there. I never went back to work. Wow. Never went back to work that day. They gave me like about, but it was close to 10,000 advance, and because they see my condition.
Well, at that time, that's great. That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. Yeah. And I was like, what? I went home. I was like, yo, listen to my girlfriend. I was like, yo, listen. Bam. Wow. She was like, because I was known for robbing people. Okay. I was known. That's something I'm not going to talk about. She was like, who did you rob? Are we in danger? I'm like, nah, this is from the record. This is from the record.
So the demo, because on the album, did you re-recorded Latoya then, right? Or what was? Yeah,
but everybody think Latoya is the first record. It's not.
Right. So what was the first one?
Put the record back on.
Right.
I love that fucking record.
Yeah, that's the joint.
When I performed that record last week in Germany and London, when that came on, they sung that shit with me. Hell yeah. And then the B-boys started breakdancing. And me in particular, because Fred was cracking up, because Fred know when I'm rhyming, I don't like nobody to dance. I want you to stand still, listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Right. And Fred was like, I was like rhyming, and they started dancing. I started turning to Fred. Fred was like, just go ahead, I'm singing a song. I'm like, he was like, just go ahead. And I was like, yo, I don't like nobody dancing when I'm rhyming. For real. And when put the record back over, I was like, boom. I was like, yo, check this out. I don't like nobody dancing when I'm rhyming. For real. Y'all want to break, y'all do that shit with somebody else. I came here to rhyme. Y'all sit there and listen to what the fuck I'm saying. All right? Fred was cracking the fuck up. That's amazing. Fred was cracking up. I was always like that too.
Even with the early performances too?
I got like that because in dancing, I think Dancing Tyria did it to me.
So what was the environment? A lot of people that are listening to this probably didn't have the opportunity to be. Yeah, what was the vibe like there? Like?
It was different.
Right.
It was different. It was more like, hold on a minute.
No problem.
You can follow me if you want. Who's in the kitchen? Oh, come on, you come in. Right. My son Justice. Dancing Tyria. You know, it was black and white people. It was black and white people. But you know, back then, it was more like a Studio 54 crowd, cokeheads. Right. And you could play basically any motherfucking thing and they danced to it.
Yeah, it didn't matter what
the fuck it was. Right. So. But it was my first performance.
Wow.
And I didn't know. I thought I was just there to hang the fuck out.
And how did you get drug up on stage?
Will was like, Justice, go up there and perform. You put the record back on. He said, don't worry, Kurtis got everything set up for you. Kurtis is Mantronik.
Yeah, right.
And
so he was DJing that night as well.
Yeah, so I said, yo, you know what? Ain't no butterflies in my stomach.
Right.
I had my shades in my pocket. I said, whoop. And that was it.
Nice.
That's what started it.
Right.
The shades in my pocket. Kurtis was like, Justice, it's dark in here. Why do you have shades on? I'm like, Kurtis, if I can't see them, they can't see me.
Right, yeah.
He was like,
classic.
What the fuck?
And then you can just zoned out.
And Ben, my beatbox.
That's Ben Paynes, right?
Ben Paynes, yeah. That's my name.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask about him too.
Yeah, that's my dude. I talked to him. He's doing all right. He got to get his passport shit straight.
Right.
Ben, he was like, Justice, why are you always wearing shades? I'm like, Ben, because if I'm on stage, I can't see them, they can't see me. He's like, what are you, fucking stupid? They can see you just as they can see you. I said, not in my head, they can't. I said, in my head, I'm up here, nobody can see me.
So you had a little stage fright then getting on, initially, right?
You could call it that, but that's how the shades got,
Right.
But then as I got older, I wanted to look at people.
Right, of course.
I wanted to look at them. And I was like, okay, I could do it without the shades, because the shades, I fuck around and trip. You know?
Who was, thinking of that crew of people, especially in the Fresh, because you were really a part of that Fresh Records sort of first.
Don't forget, next door was Prison Cold Chillin'. Matter of fact, there was no cold chilling. It was just prison.
What do you mean next door, as far as in the office that they were?
No, our next door building. We was 1974. They was 1966.
I didn't know that.
Only thing that separated was a little lot. I was always up in cold chilling.
Really? Okay.
What?
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Cold chilling was my second home.
Right.
Me and Tyrone to this day, me and Fly Ty to this day are like this.
Amazing.
Ty calls me in the middle of the night with the craziest shit.
Really?
Or he texts me something real crazy. Me and Ty. Me, Ty, who else talks? Oh man. Me, Fly Ty, Shantae. She's pregnant. She get ready to have a baby.
Wow.
Abdul. Everybody knows him as Cool G Rap though. But I think I'm the only person. He said, Justice, you the only motherfucker to call about my real name.
I've never heard anyone call him the Cool G Rap.
His name is Abdul.
Right.
And when we, it's like the circle of us say, like we hanging out, me, him, Kane, Biz. His name is Lizard Man. His name is Lizard Man. His name is Lizard Man. He hates that shit. But that's my fucking man, Abdul. I love the shit out of him, man.
That's
I love
amazing.
the shit out of him, man.
So there was some camaraderie between the labels too, like as far
It
as
wasn't camaraderie. I was the
But
cool
you were cool,
motherfucker
yeah.
in sleeping bag who didn't give a fuck about nothing. I didn't give a fuck about who was trying to make more money as a record company.
Right.
Cold chilling with some cool motherfuckers over there.
Right.
Everybody was cool over there except for D and Lenny Fishburne. Except for them two. I ain't like them. Brothers and sisters.
Who were those people?
They the owners.
Right. People wouldn't really know that, like the most.
One day, Ty, because I told Ty I was broke, right? Me and Ty spoke the night before. And Ty said, okay, come to the office tomorrow. I'll give you $200 until you get your shit straight. I was like, okay, cool. So I just happened to get there a little bit early. And Lenny was there. And Lenny was walking around the office. D was at the desk. And his sister D was back there. His other sister D. It was two D's. One D was black, the secretary. She was mad cool. But then it was his sister, the little short lady D, fucked up attitude. So I'm sitting around there. First of all, he knows I'm from next door. I'm from sleeping bag. I'm the enemy. He's like, no, who else was there? Oscar. Oscar from the Fearless Four was there.
Wow. Okay.
It was me and Oscar was hanging out back then. Oscar from the Fearless Four was there. So he was like, Justice, what are you doing here? Oh, I said, I got to wait for Tyrone. Tyrone told me to meet him here. Right. He was like, for what? I said, because I'm short of some money. He will give me $200. He was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
I said, what? And I got up. Oscar was like, uh-oh. He said, that's not going to happen. I said, there's nothing to do with you. This is between me and Tyrone. He looked at his paper. He was like, okay. Oh, you still here? It's not going to happen. Walked over to him, looked at him, boom!
Really?
His sister screamed.
Sitting at the desk and shit, or what?
No, he was standing up.
Right.
I was the one sitting down at first. He was like, oh, it's not going to happen. And I got up. Oscar was like, uh-oh.
Wow.
And then he was reading his paper. He looked up. He said, oh, you still here? It's not going to happen. I just walked over to him. Boom! Hit him. Hit that nigga so fucking hard. He fell 3 times. Hit him the first time. He was out for like about 30 seconds. He woke up. He got up. He looked at me. Fell down. Oscar was like, yo, just let's get the fuck out of here. I said, nope. He got up, staggered around, fell down again. I left.
Yeah.
I left.
Good call.
We went back to sleeping bag right across.
Right.
So I told Will and I told Juggy what happened. They started cracking the fuck up. They was like, we don't like Lenny Fisherberg either.
Wow.
And those are the owners I'm telling.
Right.
He's like, Justice, you know if anything happened, we got you. I had a special account just for when I go to jail too. Just got to tell you that.
But they set aside.
Yeah, they set aside for me. I had a special account for when I go to jail. I always kept $10,000 or better in there for bail. So it's like, if
did you have to tap into that?
No. Well, check this out. We up there, right? Me, T-La Rock, everybody. We up there. About 20 minutes later, a representative from Cold Chilling comes to sleeping bag.
Okay.
With an envelope with $200 in it.
Like,
it was like it was Justice here.
Right.
Here, Tyrone sent this over.
Wow.
I called Tyrone up. Tyrone was like, yo, why you hit Liddy like that, yo? He was in his office cracking the fuck up. He was like, yo, why you hit him like that?
And he didn't do anything.
No,
right.
Tyrone was cracking up.
Right. That's amazing.
I'm like, yo, Tyrone, you could ask D. He said, I know. She told me everything. She said you was nice about it. He was an asshole. Thank you. Click.
Right. Amazing. Wow.
Yo, we had so much fun over there, man.
And who?
Laurence Fishburne.
Right.
That's my dog. We met him over there.
In the office.
Nah. Me and T-La Rock was walking down the block. And Laurence Fishburne was coming down the block, right? And I was like, yo, I know you. He was like, word, you know me? What's my name? I was like, Lawrence something. He was like, first, I said, my name is Just Ice. He was like, Just Ice, LaToya. I was like, oh shit, you know my records? I said, that's my man T-La Rock. He made it's yours. He was like, it's yours.
Oh,
yo,
shit.
We started talking, and it was a restaurant across the street called Federico's. It ain't there no more.
Right.
We went in there, me, Laurence Fishburne, and T-La Rock got so fucked up off of iced teas. Only thing that fucked it up, he kept trying to smoke a cigarette.
Really?
And I kept telling him, no shit's no good for you.
Right.
And this is way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, Justice? We ain't going to be able to hang out if you going to fucking with these cigarettes. I'm like, man, stop smoking that shit, man. Just drink some fucking ice. You want some weed? He's like, I can't smoke no weed. Yo, then me and T-La Rock, we met, what's the nigga name? Forrest Whitaker.
Amazing. Right.
Walking down that same fucking, that strip of Broadway between 59th Street and 72nd,
right.
You meet a lot of fucking people.
Right, of
we
course.
Met Forrest Whitaker. We met the guy who plays Leon.
Right.
We met him.
It
was
always
me and T-La Rock.
Right.
It was always me and T-La Rock meeting these people.
Wow, that's amazing.
One day, I'm coming up the number 1 train at 66th Street, and I live across the street. That's where Tower Records used to be there.
Right.
T-La Rock, it was some kind of news crew. They cornered his ass. CBS or somebody they recognized because he had his shit on. And they cornered him coming out of Tower Records, signing off. They cornered him. Yo, I seen that shit. I'm like, I gotta go. I took my hat off. I took the Just Ice hat off. Right. I'm walking through the building. All of a sudden you hear he say, yo, there go Just Ice. I was like, you son of a bitch. Word up. And the lady was like, Just Ice. They was looking for the hat. I wouldn't put the hat on. Somebody seen it in my hand. T-La Rock goes, yo, that's Just Ice right there. They all came over there. Yo, me and T-La Rock, we got some. Oh man, you have no idea the history. With me, T-La Rock, and Torre, MCT.
Okay. Right.
He a funny dude. I used to shoot air pellets at his ass. Him and Mantronik.
What was the story with the hat too? Because that was such a signature look.
My friend Eddie Plain, my gold tooth master, gold tooth Eddie, the original gold tooth Eddie. If it wasn't for him, I would have never got that hat because one day I went to go see him and he had that hat on. And this is way back in the early 80s. Right. But he didn't have his name or nothing on it. And I was like, yo, Ed, where'd you get that hat from? He was like, yo, Kiffin made it for me. And Kiffin was the owner of Ross Roots. And that's how all of that shit started. Right. And this is like, I used to get gold teeth from Eddie way before I started making records. But before Eddie was even in the Coliseum, Eddie was in 170-something Street in Hillside Avenue, working out of some kind of little shop. And we was out in Long Island, and it wasn't Roosevelt. Oh man, what's that shit, man? Out in Long Island. He was in Nassau. It was in Nassau County. Wasn't too far from Eddie Murphy's house. We used to fuck with Eddie Murphy's people.
Okay.
All right.
Well, he's from Bushwick originally, right?
Who, Eddie Murphy?
Yeah,
but then they moved to Long Island to Freeport.
Right.
No, we was at near Freeport.
Right.
But yeah, the hat shit came from him, and we was buying gold teeth before music even came out.
Yeah, I mean
that was part of our uniform. You know, was drug sellers.
Right.
We was drug sellers. Guns, gold teeth, big coats in the wintertime, fresh sneakers. Right. Nothing to do with no fucking music.
Right. Well, that's how the musicians really adopted all that style too.
Nothing to do with music.
Right. Well, another important thing in '86 too, and I've been, you know, a good friend of mine is Greg Nice. You know, obviously
that's my dude. Yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah. And
I mean, one day I was broke, right? Real quick, I had like about maybe $12, $13 to my name. I was living right here.
Okay.
And I called Greg. Greg was on 170th Street. He took me to his house a few times, but we never went upstairs. But I knew the area. I was like, yo, Greg, it's Just. He was like, yo, what's up, Just? I'm like, yo, I'm kind of fucked up with dough right now, man. If you hit me up with something, I'll hit you up back. Next time we pass, I'll hit you up. He's like, how much you need? I'm like, anything you can spare. He's like, where you at? I said, I'm on 212 in DeKalb. He's like, yo, meet me right around the corner on Bainbridge. I said, you know the area? He's like, meet me around the corner on Bainbridge from 212 in about a half hour. Went out there, Greg had a little pickup truck.
Really?
He had a little pickup truck. I mean, not even a hatchback, a pickup truck.
Okay.
Nigga said, here, paying $170. I was like,
that's cool.
And I was only looking for like about maybe $50, $60.
Right.
He's like, here, $170. And me and him just start talking, because me and Greg, you want to talk about stories?
Right.
Overseas?
Well, he was T-La Rock's beatbox.
Yeah.
Right.
Greg, me and Greg got stories about overseas. yo, that's what I'm saying. Me and T-La Rock were just talking. Yo, T-La Rock, me and him was talking last week. He got kind of pissed off. He's like, yeah, you and fucking Greg fucking with everybody. Everybody depended on y'all to get us back, and you got everybody out. I was like, yo, you still getting mad over that shit? Yo, me and Greg had these niggas walking around Amsterdam for 45 minutes. Looking for the hotel, and all me and him kept doing was going in a circle.
Oh my God.
And when they got fucking confused, he went back the other way. Yo, T was like, yo, man, give me this pass here. Yo, Greg, that's my nigga.
I've asked connection too, of course, is Boogie Down Productions too, which played a big role. You were a big part of that crew.
Now you digging. You starting to scratch now.
Yeah.
You starting to scratch now.
Can we talk about that a little bit, or?
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, we don't have to, go as far as.
Nose bleeding.
Wow.
All right, real quick. Me and KRS-One and Scott La Rock and Jerry Lee MC, we all met up at the Broadway International Disco on 140, I think it's 146 in Broadway, some shit like that.
Okay. It was called Broadway International.
Broadway, it's BID.
Okay.
All right. Scott La Rock was the house DJ. And KRS is Jerry Lee MC and the other guy, I forgot the person's name, they were the house MCs. It was owned by this lady, I think her name was Cheryl or Karen or somebody. She actually lived in Rockaway Park, Hamill's project, the project that I was living in at that time. And, well, let's just say I had nowhere to live, and Chris was living in the shelter, where Scott was the social worker, and I needed somewhere to live. He was like, I got somewhere for you to live. And I'm thinking, yo, cool, I got a place to crash out. Nigga took me to a shelter.
Oh, wow. And they were, by that time, they were doing music together.
No, it wasn't no records out.
No, okay. They were just hanging at a club? Is that what it was?
We go way back, man. I keep telling you, that song way back, motherfuckers take it for granted. When I say way back, I mean way back.
Right.
Me and Chris was down the other way before we made records.
Right.
Way before.
What was Scott La Rock like?
A very serious person who was hard to play basketball with because he was not little.
He was a big guy?
He was a fucking big dude, man. Scott wasn't no little fucking dude.
And he was a social worker, too. I mean, obviously, that's
very nice about it until you play ball with him.
Right.
I hated playing ball with him. Where we always argue. You know what I mean? But he was a real nice dude. I mean, one day, he was on visiting his parents because he lived in the Bronx. But Scott came from a very well-off-to-do family.
Okay.
Very well-off-to-do. And his people lived in St. Albans, in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
So one Sunday, he was all the way in St. Albans, Queens. And I called the nigga. And I was like, yo, Scott, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. He was like, I'm in Queens, just. I said, I need $5. He was like, $5? I He said, I'm in. He said, I said, what's the nearest train stop to you? He said, the F train, 179th Street, the last stop. I said, I'll be there within 2 hours. Click. Yo, Pete, when I got there, Scott was fucking there waiting.
Wow.
With $5.
$5 right there. Amazing.
Because don't ask him for nothing else. Because you said $5. So he gonna give you $5.
Right.
He was right there. I was like, wow. I remember all that shit, man.
Yeah, those are amazing stories. They go so far beyond the records and stuff.
Everything that has to do with me, BDP, or people who were in our circle. I ain't naming everybody.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's way deeper than the fucking music, man.
Right. But you understand that, like, so many people, that's how they know you.
Thing. That's fucked up. That's just like saying they only know hip hop for today.
Right.
Instead of knowing hip hop for what it really, really is.
Right.
It's kind of fucked up.
Right.
They should know the history.
Right. Really quick too, just and this is kind of going back just a little bit, but with Mantronics too. I mean, that's just that. There's incredible chemistry there with the records too, and we don't necessarily have to get into the business of it all too, because he was already an artist on Fresh Records.
Kurtis
right?
was an artist on Capitol.
Really? Okay.
They snatched him off. Remember, King of the Beach was on Capitol.
So Will found
they took
him
from Capitol. Yeah.
Right.
Kurtis was too far ahead of his time, man. I don't know if he's still doing music now. I don't know if he's changing the way he spells his name. But I'm seeing a lot of Kurt Khalil's on fucking TV for the music.
Interesting. All right.
I don't know if it's Khalil or Keel.
Right.
I don't know if he's changing his name or whatever. But he's another one that you just did hip hop for the fuck of it.
Right.
His
Just
family
for fun.
is well off.
Yeah, he was Armenian or something.
His father is an Iranian or Armenian oil dweller.
Wow.
And his mother's like one of the biggest Jamaican lawyers at her time in Jamaica.
Wow.
So they didn't need for nothing.
Right.
Even back then, when you lived on 82nd and Broadway or Amsterdam or in between,
right,
that's money.
Yeah.
And that's where he lived. He just chose to stay in the penthouse at the recording studio.
Okay, gotcha. The music you guys did, though, during those first, I mean, it was almost 4 albums, so at least 3 albums of material was mostly just you and him. And,
the first album, Back to the Old School, was me and him. Second album, Cool and Debbie, was me and him. The third album...
Well, the Desolate one he was on that, too, but you were also doing...
I did one track with Doc Rodriguez.
Yeah. And then the guy, O.C.
O.C. Rodriguez.
O.C. Rodriguez was later, right?
See, Desolate one was a real angry album because I was going through some personal shit. I was just contracted to do that album. I was forced to do that album.
You know what? Just one little bit about that album, and one of my favorite songs that you've done, and one of the greatest music videos too. I feel like from that era. Welfare. I love that song, man. Because it's got that dub. It's got the dub inflicted production too, and like, did you feel like was that something you were kind of pushed to do a record like that?
Yeah.
They wanted you to make some commentary.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That wasn't something I usually. That's
right.
Not me, really.
Yeah.
That's just like my verse in Self-Destruction. That wasn't.
How did that come about?
My original verse was so much harder. They didn't want me. They didn't want to let me on the record. And Carly didn't want me on the record. And then Dougie first came to my back. He was like, "Well, if Just Ice can't be on the record, I'm not going to be on the record." And then Heavy D was like, "Well, if Dougie Fresh and Just ain't going to be on the record, I'm not going to be on the record." And Chuck said, "Them going to be on the record. I'm not going to be on the record."
Oh my God!
So she was like, "Just you're going to be on the record."
Right.
That's how that shit went.
Yeah.
Because they was like, Just Ice doesn't fit into the self-destruction. He's more like into creating destruction. Those were her words. And then from that point on, me and Aunt Carly had a very good relationship.
Right. Gotcha.
You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, that's simple enough. Yeah, I mean, and then like really after the Desolate one, you like Masterpiece, which was kind of like totally underrated because it's an album with you and Grandmaster Flash, right?
Yeah, it was me and Flash. The production could have been way better.
Right.
The voice level, everything. The lyrics, everything is tight. The music is tight. I just had a problem with the production.
Right.
The production, it could have been way better.
So that's 1990. Like, where are you at, like, in your life in 1990? Like, after, I mean, it's the 4th record. Music industry is changing.
Still going through personal bullshit.
Right.
Still going through personal bullshit. See, now I gotta light my weed up, motherfucker. Still going through personal bullshit, see?
But you had known Flash for a long time anyway, so at least you have like a, it's not like you're like.
Nah, it wasn't like it was a fan. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been to so many fucking Flash parties and so many Flash CDs. DJ Joey, my man DJ Joey at the Black Door. I tried to sneak in there. They wouldn't let me in there though. They was like, yo nigga, you might be big, but you too young. I had to stand outside and hear the music.
Was there any? A friend of mine told me that the WWF one time was trying to court you. Is there truth to that?
Hell yeah. Me and Randy Savage even met up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this like this was in the 80s too, or?
This is when Titan Entertainment was down with WWF.
Right.
This is when it was WWF. They just stopped calling themselves the WWF.
Yes, right.
The
I remember that.
Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Then they went to the World Wrestling Federation.
Right.
And Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan was doing a little thing, little storyline thing.
Right.
And Titan Entertainment contacted Ronald Resnick for me to do a sound, when he walks out and everything.
Oh wow, okay, to do actual music.
Music for Randy Savage. So we met up in the city, had dinner and everything. Yo, he's nothing like people think, man.
Really?
Nothing. Elizabeth nice too. Just before she started fucking with Hulk.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's they're entertainers as well. I mean, you would think that in real life.
Didn't come to fruition though.
Right.
And then because Titan Entertainment went out of business.
Oh, gotcha. So it just fell apart.
It just fell apart. It had nothing to do with me.
How did the In a Minute situation relationship come up? Because that too was such a looking back. Because I love Gun Talk is the album. Really, that's what I'm talking about.
In a minute. That was Carnegie.
That was because they had. But this is a label from California that was putting out Master P, RBL Posse, Totally Insane. Andre Nicotino when he was Dre Dog. It's like, and then there's a Just Ice record like, in there in the mix of all that. And it was like, I think the only New York or East Coast based artist.
And Gun Talk.
Yeah, which was the
that shit had some shit on there.
That was 93. It was hard as hell.
That record had some shit on there. I think me and Kurtis did a video called Girls and Guns.
Yes, which was like more of the dub, the dub style music you were doing.
Let me show you something very special. Holy shit! Now you brought it up. Come here. Oh, this shit is still on. Girls and Guns.
That's
a
a
10
tape.
Yep.
Right. That's amazing, man.
Yep. I was gonna sell this shit for like 100 pounds overseas.
I bet you could get a lot more than that, man.
Yeah, but that's the same thing the guy said.
Yeah.
He was like,
is it one of a kind?
He was like, yes. Nobody else got this. I mean, I have one more, but it's on an album though.
Right.
Acetate album.
Yeah,
got it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
man. This is some shit right here. All right, what's next, Pete?
Well, yeah. I mean, looking back too, and I've known you from when you were, we just did stuff at the Knitting Factory. You used to come down to
I even made a record
factory.
about that shit.
Did you? I didn't know that.
What
was it?
You at the new Knitting Factory?
I was just on the one that was downtown on Leonard Street.
I had a big fucking fuck up at the new Knitting Factory.
Really? What happened?
My man Jay Styles was up there, right? And I just got these, the new joints.
Right.
And they weren't insecurely.
Okay.
In the middle of the show, they started coming out. I had to walk off stage.
Oh, my God.
And go in the back and readjust them.
Oh,
and
shit.
I came out and I did it. Yo. Whoo. You want to hear something? You got time to hear something?
Absolutely.
Check this shit out. Matter of fact, one of the tunes I did is called "Don't Curse." It's a Grammars of Theodore. Do you remember the track? It was a full moon in the middle of June in the summer of '59. I was young and cool, shot a bad game of pool and hustled all the chumps I could find. But now they call me sport because I pushed the ball short and I love all the women to death. I partied hard, packed a mean rod, and could knock your ass out with a right or a left. I learned to shoot pool, playing hooky from school at the tender age of 9, and by the time I was 11, I could pad roll 7 and down a whole quart of wine. Fuck niggas know about that shit. Fuck niggas know about that shit.
Right.
Yo, the music was like...
That's like disco rap.
Nah, it's called... I got the record right there. I just don't feel like looking for it.
Right.
Where is it? Watch. This is called "Don't Curse." I doubt you ever heard this before. Here it is. "Don't Curse," the master. This is Grammars and Theodore's music. This tune right here. Here's the history of this tune. When me and KRS-One got finished doing Ram Dance Hall session on the Desolate one.
Yes.
Guess who walks in the door?
Okay.
Heavy D.
Wow, okay.
And we stopped. We was like, yo, Heavy, come in here with us and get on this track. That's why Heavy D is on Ramdas Hall Session. If you look at the credits, his name is on there too.
Right.
After we finished doing that, I said, yo, Hev, we should get a record together. We should name it Don't Curse. Let's just make a rhyme. Let's just make a record with nobody cursing in it.
Right.
I said, me, you, Chris, let's just make a record called Don't Curse. Chris was with it. Heavy was with it. Something happened. Everybody went their own way. Who comes out a few years later with the fucking record Don't Curse? Heavy D, Cool G Rap, all them other niggas. See, and I'm not gonna talk ill of the fucking dead. And that's why I never said nothing about it. If it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be no fucking Don't Curse.
Wow.
Now, here's the original verse of my Don't Curse for that shit.
Did you ever record it back then? You did? Oh wow! So there's somewhere
Original verse too.
Right.
Different music.
Right.
This rhyme I'm spitting right there is at least 16 years old.
Wow.
Check this out.
All right.
You ever heard this before? Don't look at my labels. Don't look at my labels. Check this out.
Today's special is Memphis Soul Stew.
Ever heard this before?
No.
We sell so much of this, people wonder what we put in it.
That bass line's crazy though.
Check this out.
Give me about a half a teacup of bass. Today's special is Memphis Soul Stew. We sell so much of this, people wonder what we put in it. We're gonna tell you right now. Give me about a half a teacup of bass. Now I need a pound of fatback drums. Now give me 4 tablespoons of falling Memphis guitars. This gonna taste alright. Now just a little pinch of organ. Now give me a half a pint of horn.
That's too much.
All right, man. Thanks so much for doing this with me, man.
Man.
I love you, man. Thank you. All right. All right, y'all. That was it. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely had a great time doing that conversation with none other than the original gangster of hip hop, Sir Vicious, Just Ice, on the House List. I'm your host, Peter Agoston. I produce this as a weekly show myself, very DIY, edited and engineered by CJ Stewart, music by Dame Funk and Keith Ede. You can write me for the House List at TheHouseListPodcast at gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter /TheHouseListPod. Subscribe on iTunes and on SoundCloud. Let people know if you dig it. Spread the word. Just doing this for fun and to share stories with people that I admire, and I hope that you guys dig it and keep coming back. Definitely gonna have many more conversations to come. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace. And I'll see you guys next time on The House List.
All right, the one just like in my joints. We ever come tell you one more time. When I say nothing from last year, may I kick all new lyrics. Oh, you dibby sound boy, I just stand back and you put your pal up on it and you back kiss the man. Now hear this. See my guy for pop bad girl, wheel up now. All right, the one just like me I come and tell you this. Don't come for ramp and skin. We ever come kick new lyrics. So the one Mantronics, come with it, rude boy. Now the one just like me ever come tell you like this. Listen, new style here. Girls and gun and the two of them the same. One lick your body and the other lick your brain. Girls and gun and the two of them the same. One lick your body and the other. Say my gal for boom fat gal I'm on PA. Cause let me tell a story because me name just I come tell everybody. So listen to me killing and you listen carefully. Cause them uptown girls know them sexy. And them downtown girls know them sexy. It's a new name, them up to get flat. I got the bikini jump up if you're body black. And if you're healthy and you're ivory, you do the right thing. Don't deal with fuckery. Now everybody get to this and then you listen for the sound. Sound microphone. Hey, little dibby boy, you must get licked down. Your sound can't deal with my sound and not the town. Just ice them out the roughest one around. The ought to go down, dibby lay it down. Watch me, I watch them, I watch them, I watch me. And everybody come ram the party. I'm in the paper, draw a paper easy. Your pirate on my liver, draw for me style. Now this one dedicated to every man and woman. Move your edge or your foot up in the combination. Follow me footsteps everywhere. I am the article done. We sit down top of the rhythm, we sit down top of the version. If you deal with unity, come let me hear you know say bam man. Bam bam, two shots out the gun and bam bam, my sound number one and bam bam, come kiss the magnum and bam bam, rude boy run a town and bam bam, with the shotgun a run and bam bam, come jumping up on and bam bam, just like number one and bam wheel up.